This is Anil with a video tutorial for the Learning Lab on C programming. So in this video tutorial we can see the arithmetic operators available in C. So in C you can use the arithmetic operators like plus for the addition, minus for subtraction, star for multiplication, slash for division, and mod for mod operation, and plus and minus for increment and decrement. So these are the arithmetic operators available in C, and now we're gonna see how we can use all these operators in our program. So here, for the demonstration purpose, we're gonna create three variables. It's gonna be int num1, num2, and result. So we're gonna assign this num1 with a value of 20 and this num2 with a value of 10. So first we're going to see the addition operator, that is plus. So we're going to store the result of num1 plus num2 in the variable result, and we're just going to print it out. So it's going to be printf and %d comma result. So I'm going to save it, compile it and run it. So as you can see here, it just printed 30. That's because 20 plus 10 equal to 30. So now we're gonna see how we can use this subtraction operator. So make it minus, save it, compile it and run it. So it says 10. That's because 20 minus 10 is 10. Then the multiplication operator, for that purpose we need to change this to star, then save it, then compile and run. So as you can see here, 20 into 10 equal to 200. So then the division operator, so it's going to be num1 divided by num2. I'm going to save it, then compile and run. So as you can see, 20 by 10 is equal to 2. So now what if our num2 is greater than this num1? So I'm going to make this num2 equal to 100 and save it and compile and run. So as you can see here, we got 0, but we know that 20 by 100 is equal to 0.2, but we are getting the value 0. That's because now we have the variables result, num1 and num2 are all of type integer. So when you use the data type as integer, and if you do any division or any calculation, and the result of that calculation is some floating point number, then the decimal part of that number will be truncated and the whole number will be returned. That's why it prints 0 and the decimal value, that is 0.2, is lost. So now we're gonna see about the modulus operator. In C, if you want to perform any mod operation, then you have to use this percentage symbol. So this percentage symbol is used to represent the mod operation. So here we want to calculate num1 mod num2. That's why we're writing num1 mod num2, and here I'm gonna make this num1 to 10 and num2 to a value 3. So now it's going to be 10 mod 3, and it's going to return the remainder of 10 divided by 3, so that is 1. So save it, then compile and run. So as you can see here, it just prints 1. So the last thing I want to teach you is about the increment and decrement operation. So in C, if you want to increment, instead of writing num1 equal to num1 plus 1, you can use the increment operator. So to use the increment operator, you have to use this plus. So in this tutorial we're gonna increment the value of this num1 variable. So that's why we're gonna write num1, then we're gonna write plus. So now this num1 value will be incremented to some value. Before that, we need to initialize our num1 variable. Num1 is going to be 10. So now after this statement, this num1 is going to contain 11. That's because this statement is similar to num1 equal to num1 plus 1. So I'm going to print num1 value. So as you can see, num1 was initialized to 10, but after this statement, or after this incrementation, it just printed the value 11. So I'm gonna close it, and another thing is, if you want to increment this num1 by 5, then what you can do is you can write num1 plus equal to 5. So this one is similar to num1 equal to num1 plus 5. So I'm going to save it, compile and run. So as you can see here, because of this statement num1 plus equal to 5, num1 value is incremented by 5, so it just prints 15. So similarly you can use the decrement operator, that is minus minus. So if you want to decrement the value stored in this num1 variable, then you can use num1 minus minus. So it's just similar to num1 minus 1. So num1 is containing 10, and after this statement it's going to be 9. So I'm going to save, compile and run. So as you can see, the value of 9. So if you want to decrement this num1 variable with the value of 5, let's say you want to decrement this num1 by the value of 5, so it's going to be num1 equal to num1 minus 5. So here you can use this num1 minus equal to 5, and it will do num1 equal to num1 minus 5. So I'm going to save it, compile and run. So as you can see here, num1 was 10 before, and after this statement num1 value is 5. So this is it. This is about the arithmetic operators available in C, and this is how we can use it in our program. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next tutorial.